Pop-Tart. Okay, today, live review, Laphroaig 10-year-old Sherry Oak Finish. This is a Suntory Global Spirits product. An Isla single malt Scotch whiskey, 48% alcohol, 96 proof, non-chill filtered, but has color added. And this particular whiskey is 10 years age, 10-year age statement, 10 years in ex-bourbon, and then finished 1 year in ex-Oloroso sherry. So that's what we got here. So a good proof here, 48% alcohol. This is the same alcohol that you get the quarter cask at. Get out of here, you. Boom. So we're gonna rate this at a 100, 25 for aroma, 25 for palate, 25 for finish, 10 for texture, and 15 for my personal experience. And again, we've had this bottle for a little while. Not much liquid out of it, but we've still had it for like quite a long time. So hopefully, we've had some evolution. This hasn't been my favorite. Like I said, it hasn't been my favorite offering from them. I've definitely used the language. I'm not sure if this worked. When we neck poured this, but we'll give it an objective opinion today. Of course, this is if you're from YouTube, this is live on Twitch TV. Join us 11 a.m. Eastern time on weekdays. We talk about whiskey. All right, here's our color here, our probably colored thing here. It is not natural color, so we can't really comment too much on this. That being said, the Carchus is a little darker than this, and that one is natural color and is not much older. So this is probably actually not that far off, but it is got some E150 treatment, some amount. We do know that of Laphroaig is sometimes they do partake in the use of E150 caramel coloring, so we can't really say too much about the color here. A little bit stuffed up, but I'm sure we'll be good. And of course, while we're just kind of waiting for this to rest a little bit, if you don't know, this particular whiskey brand is one of the favorites of the now King Charles. He loves the 15-year-old. They don't make that anymore, but they probably make it just for him. I bet you they do. But yeah, they have a royal warrant to supply to the royal family, and King Charles, the 15-year-old Laphroaig, is apparently his favorite whiskey. That being said, he must have all of it. He must have a private stash of 15-year-old Laphroaig, because you cannot buy that anymore, I don't think. That's interesting. I hope this gets better. It's nosing like very nutty. And very like kind of raisiny, but man, if I was to say that it's tame, don't drink, please. Friend, I don't know if you know, but this is a channel about whiskey. If you've somehow managed to get here by mistake, feel free to peruse any other channel on the internet. But we are going to consume alcohol. That is the premise of the channel. I'm sorry that perhaps you don't agree. I think sometimes people like end up in this channel by some wayward recommendation. The recommendation gone astray. Do you know it's about whiskey? Okay, then why would you tell me not to drink it? That's very strange. It's a very strange suggestion. Man, the smoke is like not hitting today. I don't know what to say, but it's like there's a bit of medicinal character to it, and you kind of get like that, like dried fruit and nuttiness. But the smoke is very tame, like almost like it's covered in sherry. Very tame smoke. Slightly like medicinal cough syrup kind of aroma. It's not like hitting like classic Laphroaig nose to me. It's hitting like light smoke cough syrup. Yeah, nuts and dried fruits. But not like the full blown smoke. And obviously like again, like sometimes we talk about, okay, yeah, the smoke gets a little tame on some of these really smoky whiskeys deep in the bottle, but we're like 2 pours off the neck pour maybe here, right? So it's kind of like pretty tame on the smoke for that. It's in there, but it's like, man, it's really tame. It's mostly on the nutty and the sherry components. It's like kind of like maybe overwhelmed the smoke component. But there's enough like of a like peat presence that like again it's still like kind of like medicinal cough syrup. All right, so Laphroaig 10 sherry oak finish on the palate, Sludgeva. Yeah, there is some more of that smoke component on the palate. But again, it's like very like dried fruit, cough syrup, slight medicinal character, slight kind of like green peat notes. Maybe it's like a slightly bit spicy. Finish is like nothing to write home about. Again, like I don't know. It's not like wowing me, at least not right this second. And I think it's the same kind of problems that we've like already discussed when we've had this whiskey in the past. The sherry components, like in this particular presentation, I feel like they override some of the peat smoke, some of the peat distillate. They're overstepping into like some of the Laphroaig notes, like the pure distillate notes. and also at the same time, it's like they're kind of like muddied together, if that makes any sense. So like one of the things that, again, not to toot this the horn of this awesome bottle again, but like one of the things that I love about this bottle is like when you drink it, the presentation of the notes is so clean. It's like crisp and clean, and you get that smoke, and you get that iodine, and you get that peat, and that woody, kind of earthy components, and then you get clear, sweet, fruity, jammy notes, distinct from those kind of peat components, where they're not like muddied together. And to somewhat, you do get a combination here, and it ends up kind of like barbecue sauce, but it almost like feels like in this bottle, it's like the sherry and the peat are like kind of like mixed together, and they kind of don't present very cleanly. They kind of present like a meld of two that you're trying to pick them out, but you're like, okay, well, it's not, it's kind of like they're so tight and close together and not really quite expressing very cleanly. And also the combination doesn't like create some kind of interesting combination. It kind of just feels muddled, if that makes any sense. And that's kind of like, again, we were back in this place. We're like, well, did this work? Like, there's a good sweetness kind of arriving now, and it complements that smoke a little bit. Hey, Cap, how's it going? Is my chat like not working? Oh, something weird happened. Ooh, something weird happened. Hold up. There it is. We're gonna have to fix that. Anyway. Yeah, there's a nice evolution into like sweeter notes here from the sherry. Again, it's kind of like it's almost like, again, there's a medicinal component to a syrup. It's almost like cough syrup, but the cough syrup is like starting to get more appealing. It's starting to get sweeter. But it's still kind of like cough syrup. But it's kind of like right now that's like the predominant note. It's like there's light smoky component. There's like strong cough syrup note, where like the medicinal Laphroaig and the like syrupy sherry are like kind of in together, with some nuttiness and maybe some like just raw dried fruit. But I'm having trouble getting much else other than that. I feel like I'm liking the nose a little better today, but it's very few dimensional. On the finish, slightly briny note. You get some of that, again, kind of like medicinal sweetness. Again, cough syrup. Some earthy character. Finish is like, man, I wish it was better. I almost want to say it's short plus, but it's maybe like medium minus. Its finish length is very lacking for me. This barbecue sauce one, I wish. Yeah, it's the mid one. Um, Again, the note, the like syrupy, smoky note for me is presenting like cough syrup today, and I feel like I presented like that before. Um, that being said, it's like similar note combination. It's like a mix of like the sherry sweetness and that syrupiness with like the smoky distillate component, but it's like instead of catching the like smoke campfire protein and hitting it with like syrupiness, it's kind of like catching the medicinal part of the Laphroaig and hitting it with sweetness, so it kind of comes off like cough syrup. You probably, if you wanted to call the note like barbecue sauce, you probably wouldn't be wrong. It gets in there a little bit, but to me, it's not as rich and clear and well defined as on the carcass. It's very like medicinal and muddied for me. But that sherry, it's starting to come, you know. Giggity. It's starting to present. But even now, the intensity of the aroma is like it's got a little bit to be desired. And it's kind of surprising at 48% alcohol. And I think again, it's just I don't know. I feel like the barrel's too heavy-handed or something like that. Like the year finish in X Sherry was too much. Like maybe it needed 6 months. I don't know. It just feels over sherried to me. I think that's what it is. Like if I had to shoot what I feel like is wrong with this for me, it's that the sherry is too heavy. Like the smoke notes and the iodine notes and the medicinal peat components are in there. It's just like they're drowned a little bit, I think. I think that's what I would say is wrong with it. And maybe like to be honest, like if you want a heavily sherried whiskey that has light smoke components, maybe your jam. I don't know, but for me, it's like I know what this bottle's kind of supposed to taste like without the sherry in it, and I'm like, well, I want it to be like those things and sherry, not like those things but overridden by sherry and like not very much of it left over. That's all. And maybe if they presented more cleanly and not so muddled, which is again, it's a very strange way to put it, but it's like the best way I have to describe it is like it just feels like the notes are tumbling all over each other and not very like clear and obvious. They're stumbling all over each other trying to get heard. I'm getting a kind of like a root beer thing on the palate though. That's kind of cool. I kind of don't hate that. There's kind of like a root beer thing going on. Um, Redeeming a little bit. Redeeming. It's like there's a certain like spiciness and earthiness to the like peat components, I think, and like with that sweetness, kind of like gets out a little root beery, which is not bad. Um, all right, so we'll do like one more sip, and then we'll talk about the numbers here. And we're gonna try to be objective, but man, it's hard to get wrapped up It's hard to get wrapped up in what the potential is. You're sitting here going, well, this could have been so good if it was like this, but it's like that. And I can't like degrade what it actually is because I feel like it should have been better. You know, I still got to like try to be, okay, where does this place on its own merit, you know? I send a link here or should I do Discord? I think you have to be a mod or VIP to link clean in this chat. So just send it Discord wherever you want and I'll see it. I can see Discord. That's not a problem. Had this American malt whiskey and it wasn't it. I'm interested to know which one it was. I have plenty of guys in a different Discord server who love American single malt whiskeys. So I'd be interested to know which one in particular. The sixth glass. Oh, okay. I didn't you? I think you shared this one before, if I remember right. I almost want to like search it, but I seem to think you've shared this one before. This is the one where like it's distilled from like a beer, though, isn't it? So like I don't know if that beer is like hoppy. But that might contribute to it. This is the one I think where it's like they aged it in really small barrels too. I think it's like they're like really small barrels. This is the sixth glass one. This time I really paid attention to it. I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, like obviously everyone has their own taste. I think one of the things about the American single malt whiskey category is there's a lot of like craft. It's kind of like different than Scotch in some ways, right? Because Scotch is very well established, very long term, and American single malt whiskey is almost like just getting started in some ways. And there's a lot of like small craft single malt whiskey, American single malt whiskey distilleries. And there's not that many like little small craft Scotch distilleries, right? Most of them have been established for hundreds of years and have a good reputation, right? So some of them are just trying to get their product off the ground and kind of see what they can and can't do and what tastes good and what doesn't. And if something doesn't work out that well, then they still have to try to probably sell it. But yeah, I know there's a lot of like craft distilleries kind of like propping up in the United States. And some of it is like young too. It's like younger. And for me, like, despite the fact that bourbons are like typically like 4 to 7 years is pretty common. I still think like older age statements, even in like bourbon, like there's a lot of merit in like letting the spirit kind of like mellow out after just time. Time benefits it. Not where $60 tasted like a $20. Well, now you know. Used for mixing with Coke. Well, at least you got that. At least you got that. That's always an option, you know. If you buy the bottle and you don't like it, you can mix it with other things. That is an option. You can even mix it with other spirits. All right, one more. Focusing on the finish, a little bit of spiciness, earthiness, small amount of that like herbal, medicinal cough syrup thing. Very small amount of wood impact, but just gone faster than I would like. Okay, so out of 25, we're going to focus on the aroma. And again, surprisingly, for 48% alcohol, this actually doesn't... The intensity of this for me is lacking a little bit. It's really not punching out of the glass like you expect. Some good notes. Not that many. Lacks a little bit of punch. But it's good. 15. All right, out of 25 on the palate. I'm actually interested. I have rated the quarter cask, the Laphroaig quarter, but I don't remember what I rated it. So it's gonna be pretty interesting, I think, to see. Because I don't remember. I don't think about my ratings when I'm rating a new thing, in terms of like what I scored it. But like, I'm interested to see kind of like where this ends up in comparison to like a Laphroaig quarter, for example. And there's a very mild like smoke component. You get that like again medicinal and sweet mix there. You get some earthiness, slight amount of spiciness near the end. Core components again are the sweet syrupiness and the medicinal quality, which again feels like cough syrup to me. Good like presence of flavor. Just maybe kind of like lacking a little bit in the potential, but we're trying not to worry so much about the potential. Um, Man, this is kind of a toss up a little bit. It's not that bad. The palate's not that bad. Look at the palate. 18. I think that's fair. Mosley's here frightening himself. Poor Mosley. He saw himself on the camera preview and got frightened. All right, so out of 25 on the finish, which I think right now is like barely a medium minus for me. It might be a short plus. It's like its length is unfortunate. Starts with that earth and spice. You get some of that sweet medicinal combo. There is a very low oak impact in there. Very low. And that's about it. Yeah, not great. We'll go with 14, I think. I think that's fair. Finish could use work. So the texture, which I haven't thought too much about, and usually if we don't think about the texture too much, it means it's nothing significantly thick, but nothing out of the way watery. It's got a good proof, and a good, reasonable age statement and casking. So it's probably just in the middle there somewhere. Solid 5. If I ever gave one. Out of 15 for my personal experience with this whiskey. Again, kind of we've already beat the dead horse a little bit where we said, you know, hey, maybe over sherried. Sherry's overriding some of the Laphroaig components that we really love. The intensity of the aroma could use a little bit of work. The length of the finish could use a little bit of work. Kind of feels over cough syrupy to me. Not enough of the like smoky campfire, bacon, protein, hickory things that I love about Laphroaig. Not enough of that in there. Feels like it got sherried out. Just overall, there's just a little bit everywhere that's like I feel like the presentation is a little bit lacking. It's not too bad, but it's not great. Like if someone came to me and asked for a suggestion about like what frog they should buy, I would never recommend this one. It's just not. It's not. It's not doing everything Laphroaig. It's not. It's not everything Laphroaig can be, and it's maybe just over sherried for my taste. And maybe if you like an over sherried Isla, it's for your taste. But I think there's other. Again, when we talk about our experience, my experience, I kind of try to pinpoint like why would you pick this bottle over comparable offerings, and I just feel like the sherried Isla offering, like if we talk about all the sherried Islas that exist, like Killoman Senag, Ardbeg Ugdal, Lagavulin Distiller's Edition, I suppose. This is never going to be the one I would suggest. It feels like it's not... Hi, hello. It's just not it. So in that way, is not too memorable. It feels like it's the lesser of all those experiences. Or quarter cask be the recommendation. If they're like gonna go for the like standard Laphroaig character, absolutely. If they want something sherried, obviously you would want to recommend them something that's not the quarter because the quarter is not sherried. Depends on what the recommendation is, I suppose. But if you were like new to Laphroaig and you had the option between like this and the 10 and the quarter, I would say the quarter. But some other people might say the 10. I think it's just never this. I think it's never this one. Despite the fact that it's sherry, 48% alcohol, I feel like it's just never going to be this one. It feels like the overall theme for this one is it's just slightly disappointing. So in that world, I think it's like a 4 out of 15 for me. It's left in the dust somewhat, unfortunately, and I still feel that today. So if we have 15 and 18 and 14 and 5 and 4 is 56. We call this 56 out of 100, which is still good. This is still good. It's good. Again, it's not, you know, as much as we would like to like slam this whiskey a little bit, and it's not a great value for money, you know, there are plenty of whiskeys that drink way worse than this. So it's not like that bad. It's just that, you know, we have certain expectations, and when they don't get met, we're like, well, it's kind of disappointing, you know? I want this to be like a high 60s, low 70s whiskey, and it's a mid 50s whiskey. That's kind of like why we talk about it in the way that we do, I suppose.